So, after a little more monkeying around, we have successfully completed the repair. Now, I got to get in there with some Q-tips and some Moto Mix and get all the shavings out of there. I mean, there's no sense of rushing it at this point. Might as well do a good job and then oil everything up, put the piston in, the whole 9 yards. But when you consider the cost of a dealer, and they got to charge because they're they got to pay their taxes and employees and everything else. And I think some of these dealers now, they're north of $100 an hour. I mean, I know that were you to strip your cylinder head, some shops charge you $100, maybe more, $125, and that's, you don't have to really take anything off to get to this. If you were to bring a guy, this saw, let's say you strip one of these out, you're trying to get it out of there and you ended up stripping the thread, okay? Well, you hand the guy a dirty saw and he's got to tear it all down and then replace with, with 4 of these Timeserts, you're looking at a couple $100, maybe $200, depending on how dirty the saw is. Like I said, $125 for this, and what do? You take a couple screws off and pop the cover off, and you can get to it. This you have to. There's a little bit more involved just to get to this point. Now, if you were to take this in this condition to the dealer, you'd probably knock some off, but I guarantee you they're still going to charge you $100, $150. So, but having these in there gives me the peace of mind. If I want to put the boots to this, I'm building this for a guy down in Pennsylvania, and there's really no expense spared here. He wants a good saw, and want to make sure that we do everything right. That's just the way to go. And also, I'm going to be removing this cylinder. I'm just going to use the Meteor cylinder with the stock piston, and we'll give it a go. And then you want to go more, we'll think about that $395. It all depends. I would say if you get one of these Jukin, even at 85 cc's with a 20-inch bar, and you know how to sharpen the chain, it's gonna produce. I mean, even against a brand new modern saw, you got this thing, flowed. And then, as long as we're on the subject there, talk about power. My theory is torque. If you remember some of these old saws, old Pioneer or Homelight or McCulloch, they had the torque. The problem with them is versus the modern saws is they didn't wind out. Now fast forward to nowadays, you got the RPM, but the way the design is, a lot of these saws they're more higher strung, especially the ones that are got case stuffers in them and whatnot. It seems like you gotta be more ginger on the pistol grip. You can't really, dog in and make some chips, make up some time like you can when you got the torque. I personally, for a work saw, don't see any reason why you'd want something to be cutting in the wood at 12, 13, 14,000 RPM. I mean, that's cool for a racer. You're just going to zip through the cookies as fast as you can. If you got a good chain and you can keep the speed up and you know how to set up the chain, you're probably going to win a lot of races. And a lot of it has to do with the guy running a saw, too. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But for a work saw, I'm just trying to, knock the RPM up on top, just up a fuzz, but just thicken everything up. And then now that I have more torque and I can, pull up on the pistol grip a little more aggressively, now I can take my rakers down and, angle on the tooth and all that jazz. And that's where you get your time. I mean, you can do the math. I don't know what they say. Some of them are going 60, 70, 80 feet per second. And if you figure it out, if you're taking off, say 3 thousandths more per tooth, and as fast as that thing's zinging around there, you could actually outcut somebody that's running at a higher RPM, but doesn't have as much tooth load on it. Or excuse me, depth. Let's call it depth of cut, because that's really what it is. That's what that raker is. The raker and the tooth, the difference between that, because this thing's like a planer, where you're planing wood, same idea. And if you build the saw, for the torque, like I like to do, you can, match your chain to that, and you can actually, for a work saw, make these things. And the other thing is too, and it's just kind of common sense. Let's say you got two saws, two 064s. This guy builds his, and it runs at 12,500 in the RPM in the cut. But he's using pretty much a stock chain, keeping it real sharp. But versus something like this that I'm building, that may run 1,000 or 1,500 RPM lower, maybe 2,000 RPM lower, but it's got the torque to pull chain with the raker that's taken down more. And you could actually outcut the guy. And the other thing is the fuel economy. This thing's zipping up and down there at 12,500 RPM in the wood, and this is doing the same job, if not faster, at 10,000 RPM. Well, what's going to use more fuel? What's going to last longer? Assuming there's only so many RPM in a motor. So this thing, let's just say it's got, 1 billion cycles, where this thing goes up and down 1 billion times before it's wore out. Which saw is going to run longer? Well, if the saw is cutting at 10,000, 10,005, and the other one's at 13, 14,000, and they're both basically the same speed, all things being equal, road running between them, the higher RPM saw is going to run out quicker. It's not going to last as long. Like I said, all things being equal. So, but yeah, this turned out good. We'll clean everything up. We'll get the cylinder on there. I don't know if I'll get this together tonight because I got some other stuff that popped up, but we'll mess around with it. I also got the pipe saw here. I did a good job on the chain. I'm going to go and grind these down, either with this chain on each side, lose the drag. I'm going to clip off the back of the tooth, sharpen it, stand up the raker a little bit. But for tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can run this. Tomorrow what I'm going to do is just see how she works sharp, and then the raker set at the low setting. I've been cutting with it. It's just basically a brand new C83 chain, which is a fast chain. But in the soft pine or whatever, I'm pretty sure, and even in that hard maple, it was almost like it couldn't. It was crying for more raker depth. So hopefully I can get this out tomorrow, and then see what she does in some pine wood. And it's another project to work around here with the pipe. A lot of fun over here at Fabe Acres. All righty, till the next one.